Were Mueller to follow that DOJ policy, and he seems to be a pretty by-the-book dude, that would mean Trump could never be a target, because a target is someone you intend on
indicting, right?
Yeah. So that doesn't mean that Mueller has insufficient evidence to charge Trump. It might simply mean that Mueller interprets the Constitution to mean that impeachment is the appropriate remedy for any president that, like presidential malfeasance, right?
Nice.
Any shitty president, I'm going to go with, I interpret the Constitution as to say impeachment is the way to go.
Love it, yeah.
So 28 CFR 600.8 defines Mueller's role. That's a federal statute. Mm-hmm. And one of the responsibilities of special counsel is to provide the Attorney General with a confidential report outlining his findings. Now, the Attorney General in this case obviously is Sessions, and he's recused, so we're talking about the Deputy Attorney General.
Right.
Whenever I say the AG, I mean
Rosenstein.
Rosenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got it. So this report could include a recommendation of impeachment, for example. Mm-hmm. So that's, and now 28 CFR 600.8 goes on to say that Rosenstein must report to the chair and ranking minority member of the Senate and House Judiciary Committees. The Rosenstein could also agree with or reject the findings when he reports to Congress.
Nice.
But he has to. He's bound by law to report to Congress. Somebody on CNN tonight said, Mueller puts his report together, he gives it to Rosenstein, and it's up to Rosenstein whether he tells Congress or not. No, I'm telling you right now, by law, he is bound to at least report it to the majority and minority chairs of the House Judiciary Committee.
Exactly.
And House 4 people.
Yes, he has to.
In the Congress. Yeah, by law. So now we find out why Mueller might be holding back some of his indictments, right? He is required to write his report to Rosenstein at the end of his investigation and not before. Mueller would not write the final report unless he'd wrapped up every part of his investigation. And as we know, he's going down every single little road.
Absolutely.
Right? But apparently he can file an update, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. If Mueller indicted people in Trump's inner circle, like Donald Trump Jr. and Kushner, before he submitted his report, he could be subject to being fired, right? Or the people he indicts could be pardoned by Trump.
They'll be tipped off, yeah.
So to avoid that, Mueller could indict and file his final report at the same time.
Yes.
Right? But Mueller might interpret the rules as stating that he must conclude all of his prosecutorial work before the report is submitted, meaning they'd all have to be tried and sentenced first.
Right.
But a more likely endgame is that Mueller would file a, quote, notification of significant events. This is the update I was telling you about, right? Recommending impeachment. He could do this like little, before the final report, he could just do a little, I'm going to recommend impeachment.
Yeah, a little heads up.
Yeah, it's like an update before the final one is submitted. 28 CFR 600.8 allows for such an update as long as it falls within the guidelines of an urgent report.
I think an impeachment would count.
Well, an urgent report is defined as Department of Justice as a law enforcement emergency.
Yeah.
Or that the national media attention is anticipated. Or if there's a major development.
Like every week in the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Or like you're guilty of obstruction of justice and colluding with Russia.
That second criteria is interesting. That national media attention is anticipated.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the media has such a legitimate kind of spot.
Exactly.
Well, the media, some people consider the media legitimate.
I still appreciate most media
Oh yeah,
sources.
no, me too.
Yeah,
but it's like very outside the federal government.
Absolutely. Very interesting point.
Well, do you remember how Comey came out ahead of the Clinton email thing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what he was relying on. He called it an urgent report, and he probably did that whole update under this statute.
Good point.
Yeah, if the populace is going to change dramatically how they're viewing a situation or their leaders, then...
And I'm totally guessing, but that maybe he used that
Yeah, that makes sense.
authority. So, a possible endgame is that Mueller submits a confidential recommendation to impeach, meaning Trump would never be a target, so you know, to Rosenstein, and then continue to finish his investigations into the lesser demons, Manafort, or DT Jr., Ivanka, Kushner, all those guys, and then indict them after he makes his impeachment recommendation.
Yeah.
Then he can file a full and final report after everyone is in jail, except Trump, if Mueller opts to not indict him and
Right.
goes for the impeachment recommendation first.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I hope Mueller chooses to interpret the 1998 memo as a guideline. So I want him to pretty much acknowledge that it's been 20 years since this has been addressed, and this particular president has done far worse than anyone before him. So I hope Mueller chooses the former, and he wants to indict and file the report at the same time. I know you said it's less likely, but that's what I'm
No,
hoping
not
for.
when I say indict and file the report at the same time. I don't mean indict Trump.
Just all his indictments, period, right? Like,
Well,
just
like
anyone he's
Manafort
going to
and
indict.
His Manafort, Kushner, Ivanka.
Okay,
The
the
close circle.
slightly smaller
The lesser
fish.
demons.
That makes sense.
Right.
So I still hope that he would at least indict them and file the report at the same time, just to catch them off guard. It's like the inner drama queen in me wants that, but also I'm afraid of what Trump will do if he has a heads up. So I just kind of want it to be all a surprise.
Yeah, but by then, if he files the impeachment recommendation before he indicts his kids,
Yeah.
then he'll have the heads up before the indictments happen.
Right. So at the same time, I'm thinking that would be better. What do you think?
I think personally he should file the impeachment recommendation as soon as he can.
Okay.
And call it an urgent report.
Right.
He can't file a final report until everyone's been sentenced.
Exactly.
But he can file
That heads up update. Yeah.
Yeah. He can say, hey.
Yeah, I whatever it takes, like, to just give Trump the just no advantage, essentially. Like, I just want
Right. And
yeah.
by filing the impeachment recommendation before he indicts his family members, that's catching Trump off guard.
There you go.
But
Yeah,
if you,
I'm
if
for
you
that.
indict his family members before you file the final report,
They already know, and he'll
Trump
pardon
knows.
them. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that makes sense to me. I don't unfortunately, since Mueller is such a by the books person, I'm not so sure I think he's going to actually indict Trump.
Right.
No, that's why I'm thinking he's going to do the early impeachment urgent report recommendation.
Yeah.
Then indict everyone, and then hope that Congress impeaches
Exactly.
Trump.
That sounds like
Yeah.
the best case scenario.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, for me that's not best case scenario.
No, because even if
Most
you
likely,
no,
yeah,
because
yeah.
even if you impeach Trump, even if it's after the blue wave, you're not going to remove him from office,
Right. He'll
Yeah.
stay as long as
Unless
he can.
the Romney 9 comes through.
I was
What's
going to
up,
say that
Romney?
is
Yeah.
assuming there's still a party line vote. At which point I would hope that after all of his close family members and,
or depending what's in the impeachment recommendation.
exactly, I would hope there'd be some defectors
He ate his
of the
earwax
Republican
on camera.
Party.
Get rid of him.
At this point, it's like Trump and his advisors are so beholden to so many other foreign entities. I'd almost think as a GOP member, I could have an equal amount of luck just working with a fucking Democrat on the things I
Absolutely.
care about.
Right, but we've talked about this before. I have more faith in the Senate than I do in the House.
100%, yeah.
And the House is the one that needs to impeach. The Senate is the one that removes. So if we wait after the blue wave and then we have a Democratic, because we will have plenty in the Congress,
Oh,
in
yes.
the House to
Yeah.
impeach.
We need that
We just
Senate.
have to have 9
Yeah.
Republicans flip in the Senate. And I already know for a fact, and not counting the senators that are Republican senators that are retiring this year.
Right. The ones that are still going to be around.
The one I know that a couple of them already just hate Trump,
And Romney's ready.
and Romney's running, and
Yeah.
Romney hates Trump.
He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
one we need.
So
I
Romney
almost-
9. I just if it boils down to the Romney 9, I'm going to be like, I coined the phrase Romney 9. What?
I love
Yeah.
it. It's a good one.
All those GOP members that have decided to resign just in the midst of this being a fucking clown house,
Yeah.
they should have stayed, so when the impeachment happened they could actually make a difference that way.
They're cowards.
They
You're right.
They aren't going to win their elections though.
Yeah, but they can
they
still
would-
fight for the right cause, but they're cowards. They don't care.
No, they are fighting for the right cause now.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's-
even the ones that are on
yeah,
the way
no,
out.
that's
But I
true.
haven't heard enough.
No, what I'm saying is like the people,
Yeah,
like
they
the
would've-
Republicans who are saying I'm not running again. They are fighting for the right cause.
yeah, yeah.
But the reason they're not running again is because they're not going to win.
You're right.
The
So a
blue
few of
wave
them
is gonna
are
vote 'em out
actually.
anyway.
Yeah.
Who are some examples of that? Just top of your head.
Bob Corker, Jeff Flake.
Yeah,
There you
there was
go.
a time period where it
McCain's
was
time.
like just one after the other of
yeah,
people saying
yeah.
they were
It's a
going to
brief
come
period.
back.
Well, I hope there's more. Romney 9.
I need Republicans who hate Trump to stay.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Stay in districts where they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And
Stay.
just fight.
If you can win, your election, stay. What's happening is the guys who can't win are bowing
Just-
out.
yeah, they're just
not.
giving.
They're not trying to fight. 'cause
Yeah,
they,
fuck this shit.
They can't. They
But
can't
like,
win.
better
better
their
shit
voice
to
of
do with
dissent,
my life.
though.
Trey Gowdy.
Yeah,
He's not going to win.
you're right.
All right, you guys. That's Minisode 1. I had a good time.
Yeah.
You had a good
Yeah.
time?
Oh, yeah.
Got me all riled up.
Yeah, it's good. That was a great. That's a great piece to have because so many people I think lost hope when they saw that article come out.
And Trump
This
lost
week.
hope.
It was a poorly.
I gained a lot of hope, like a fucking idiot.
I personally think it was a poorly presented article, and that
Me
they
too.
didn't say that this is a Republican point of view from a bunch of Republicans within the White House, secondhand from this and secondhand from that.
Yeah,
And also, instead of saying Trump is the subject of an investigation, they said Trump is not a target of investigation. And both of those statements are true, but why do you got to say the one that, I don't know.
yeah.
no, you're
I mean,
right.
they're still a media organization that just wants the most traction they can get on stories, and if they present it like that,
But I
and
like
not-
Washington Post.
Yeah. Oh, I
They're
know.
good. WAPO.
Yeah, they're great, but still, I think also it would be
They're still
suspect.
getting clicked. They're still trying to get clicked.
Exactly. And it'd be suspect for them to present it in a way that's like, but don't freak out, guys, because then it's like, well,
We're not trying to get clicks at Mueller, She Wrote. We're just trying to get you to give us $1. But
just
all
want
of you
the-
people
Yeah.
hearing this are already giving us at least $1.
Exactly.
So
And
that is
thank
true.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
thank you from the bottom of our
listening.
hearts.
You're the
We
best.
really appreciate you guys. I've been AG,
I've been Jaleesa Johnson.
I've been Jordan Coburn.
and this is Mueller, She Wrote. Mueller, She Wrote is produced and engineered by AG, with editing and logo design by Jaleesa Johnson. Market consulting by Amanda Reeder at Unicorn Creative. Our digital media director and subscriber manager is Jordan Coburn. Fact-checking and research by AG with support from Jaleesa Johnson and Jordan Coburn. Mueller, She Wrote is written by AG, Jaleesa Johnson, Jordan Coburn, Sarah Hirschberger Valencia, and Sarah Lee Steiner. Our web design and branding is by Joel... Start that last part again. 5, 4, 3. Our web design and branding is by Joelle Reeder with Moxie Design Studios, and our website is MuellerSheWrote.com.